Buongiorno, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discover together the Christian Louboutin Fragrances. So we have here 7 fragrances and this is going to be a total first impression. Never smelled any of these. I have absolutely no idea how these fragrances smell. I didn't even look up the notes. So you will get an unbiased, unfiltered first impression. But before we begin, if you are new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Noura and on this channel I mostly talk about fragrances. I also do some skincare, makeup, lifestyle in general. So if this is your thing, then definitely subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload a new video. Also follow me on Instagram where I post some exclusive content that I don't do here on YouTube. And without further ado, let's start. So here is the presentation. The only thing I don't like about these samples is that they come in a dapper, I think at least. Yeah, so it's a dapper, so not my favorite way in sampling, but we will just roll with it. And the first one I have here is Lubifunk. What a name. Okay, let's see how Lubifunk smells like. This is a fruity fragrance. So these typical summer fruity fragrances. It reminds me of a designer fragrance actually. But I can't say what it is. So don't quote me on that, but I think it smells a little bit like Si Passione. So there is black currant, there is also patchouli, and I would guess also rose. It's very nice. It's a very nice fragrance. So first impression, I really like it. It's a very beautiful fruity floral, but not groundbreaking. Something that it's very similar to other fragrances that you can get from the designer world with the fraction of the price of Louis Vuitton. I wouldn't pay so much money for this fragrance unless you really want like the presentation, so like the red bottle with the cap and like the bougie experience that Louis Vuitton definitely offers. So that was Lubifunk. What do we have next? Next we have Loubidoo. It's like Scooby-Doo. Very strange names. Again, a very designer-esque fragrance. This is more floral. Again, a fruity floral, but not so fruity like the previous one. So there is a fruity touch, but it's toned down. I get more the florals. So again, rose. Maybe patchouli. It's getting now less fruity and more woody. This is a softer experience than the previous one, but definitely the fruit used here is a little bit more synthetic and more, yeah, it's more sweet. It's some kind of berry, you know, maybe a combination of more than one fruit. I don't know. Again, a fragrance that I find you can find in a designer, like again with a fraction of a price. It's a very mass-pleasing designer-esque fragrance, not at all what I would expect from a luxury brand like Louis Vuitton. So yeah, that was a Loubidoo. Next we have Lubikiss. So from the name I would say it must be or like a lipstick fragrance, so a little bit powdery, or a sexy fragrance. So let's see. Again, a very designer-esque fragrance that I definitely smelled like not exactly a dupe, but something very similar. It's definitely floral, a little bit vintagey in the sense that you have a lot of tuberose. You can really smell it here. But it's not an overload of tuberose, if you know what I mean. Again, a fragrance that I definitely smell something similar. So like a lot of designer fragrances with a lot of tuberose. But yeah, I would say it reminds me a lot from what I remember Gucci Bloom, like this vibe. So overall, I'm not really impressed. So that was Lubikiss. Next, what do we have is Luby Rouge. I think this is the one that a lot of YouTubers like. I'm not sure and I don't remember. So let's see what Luby Rouge smells like. If it is the one that a lot of YouTubers like, then I think it has iris and I'm not a fan of iris. So let's see. I think this is the one with iris. It has a slight powderiness. This is different to the other ones. So it's warm, it's spicy, it's floral, a little bit woody, very balanced, very elegant. It's a very elegant fragrance for like, this is a fragrance for a very put together lady. It's also a little bit sweet, but it's not fruity sweet. So I guess, yeah, maybe vanilla. I definitely pick up the iris and a spiciness. So to me, this is a spicy vanilla with iris. Very elegant. But I am totally sure that I smelled something again very similar to this one. But not from the designer world. It definitely smells familiar to me. But I have to say, from until now, the fragrances that I smelled, it's the least similar to something that I smelled before. So although I get the vibe of something I smelled before, but they are different enough, you know? The vanilla here is very distinct, and I would say it's like the vibe of François Demachy, maybe. I don't know the perfumer, but it gives me the vibe of François Demachy. Or, yeah, or a Guerlain. Who is in perfumer for Guerlain? I don't know, but someone who did a lot of Guerlain private collection. I really, really like it. And this one doesn't smell designer-esque, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that was Lubi Rouge. Next, what do we have? Luby Rouge. And it definitely is Oriental. But a soft oriental. So a spicy woody experience. Again, this fragrance reminds me of Guerlain for some reason. Like Ruby Rouge. It smells familiar, so it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's different enough, you know? Definitely for a lady, someone a little bit more mature. So that was Loubiraj. Next we have Luby Crown. Interesting. Hope it's a fragrance fit for a queen. Let's see. Okay, this is definitely something I've never smelled before. This is quite unisex. It's woody with like a hint of spice. It's a woody oriental. There's like a kick of spice in the background. To me, what stands out here is definitely cedar. So this is quite a woody unisex fragrance. It's very intriguing, this fragrance. And I guess this is one of the fragrances that when I wear it and test it around, I will fall in love with. Not saying that it's like something I would purchase, but there's something very interesting and that very alluring. But again, cedar does that to me. Like I discovered that I absolutely adore cedar. Definitely something that at least I didn't smell before. So yeah, that was Lubicrown. What do we have here? We have Lubicroc. This is a very strange fragrance. It smells like a medicine. Very medicinal. But I don't know what I'm smelling. I absolutely have no words for this fragrance. It's just a strange fragrance and I can't even distinguish the notes. So definitely I will have to test this on my skin and see, because now I can smell a lot. And what I'm smelling, I don't like. So, you know, I'm smelling patchouli, something earthy, green, you know, but it's very faint. So this one, I can't say if I like it or if I don't like it. It's too light for me to even judge it. So that was Luby Croc. And that was our last fragrance. Now let's rate them. Okay, suddenly I can smell Luby Croc. It reminds me again of a fragrance. So definitely stay tuned for the follow-up, because now it reminds me of an amber fragrance that I own. So there's definitely something ambery here. It smells a little bit like L'Ambre de Merveille, but I will definitely have to go through my collection and see, because I am almost sure I have something very similar to this one. So let's go to my rating. Definitely my number one without any doubt, is Loubiraj. Yeah, I really like it. Is it something that I would pay the price tag for? I don't like it enough for now. Again, I have to test all these fragrances. But this is for me number one. And number two, I will have to say it's definitely Ruby Rouge. I can see the hype behind this fragrance. It's extremely elegant. And this is one of the fragrances that I think when I will test it, it will be maybe number one. It's definitely the one fragrance from the collection. I wouldn't say that it's worth the price tag, but it's a standout. So it's not something that I really smelled before. So to me, this is the one that I maybe would pay the price tag for. So that was Lubi Rouge. Next, shockingly, I would go with Luby Croc, the one that I didn't smell before. Now that I can smell it, it's again very interesting and very intriguing and very alluring to me. Is it worth the price tag? I will have to see and go through my amber fragrances. So I'm a little bit on the fence about this one, but it's definitely not my favorite. So that was Luby Croc. Now, it's very difficult for me to choose between like the fruity florals. So Loubidoo and Lubifunk, I would rank them the same. Both of them are very mass-pleasing, beautiful fragrance, fruity florals. One is more fresh, one is more sweet. But both of them are not worth the money, in my opinion. Definitely you will find something similar in the designer world. So for me, these are not worth the price tag like at all. Next, I would go with Luby Crown. It's not my vibe. It's too woody, a little bit leaning masculine, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it for now. And my last one is not because it's my least favorite. Actually, my least favorite is Luby Crown. But Lubikiss for me is just very, like, to my nose, extremely similar to Gucci Bloom. So I wouldn't pay the price tag. But if you love Gucci Bloom, but you want a more bougie fragrance, but has like almost the same smell, then this is for you. So I will share my final thoughts in my follow-up. For me, this is a no. So that was it. That was my first impression on the Louboutin fragrances. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel. Definitely hit also the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload the follow-up, which will I post after really testing these fragrances, so I can tell you about longevity, sillage, and also test similar fragrances side by side, so I can tell you if they are worth the money or not. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time. Ciao.